Hello and welcome to another That's Not a Tutorial. My name is JK, I'm an artist from Sydney, Australia. It is Saturday night here, having a beverage. Cheers to you, grab yours. If this is your very first time at the channel, welcome. Come on in, unpack your bags, put your feet on the furniture, I don't care. Mi casa, su casa. Now, before we get into today's video, we've had our first bit of fan mail. This is from Sue from County Durham. Hello, Sue. Thank you for the letter. It simply says, please, dear JK, stop making these videos. They're giving my children nightmares. So, thank you, Sue. I'll take that on board. Today, we are going to be drawing a cat doing a backflip and using the reference image of a human doing a backflip to create that image. How do we do it? Well, stick around and we'll find out.
Alright, here we go everybody. We are going to draw using this reference image here. And we're going to, I think, draw a pussycat. Meow! So, we have our beverage here. So, if you've got yours handy as well, feel free to take a sip. Now, of course, you can use any image you want. You don't have to use this sort of image. I just like it. I think it looks kind of cool. It's got a little bit of foreshortening that we can use here. And it's just a great little backflip that this guy is doing. Is an extreme backflipper. I'm going to say he's backflipping in South Africa. I'm just guessing that. I don't know that for sure. I wonder if I'm right. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here to draw this. So what I'm using the canvas is 4500 by 5500, 300 dpi. I'm sketching with the peppermint pencil and a dark blue color. So we are going to start with the head area. So I'm doing a cat, by the way, because that's what I do. I do the cats. So I'm going for the head to start with. Now he's pretty much straight on, so let's just get our construction lines in because it makes us look professional. I'm going to just chuck in the sort of football head shape of the cat. I'm going to do the legs area. So obviously now the legs are going off into the distance. They're getting so they're small, and they're sort of the proportions look tiny because obviously they're sort of disappearing off into the background. So you wanna actually, I'm not going to do that. What am I talking about? I'm not going to do that first. I'm going to chuck in this part of the body first, the sort of chest area that's bowing up, because I'm then going to use that to then bring a line down here to help me with the positioning of the legs. So they're going to sort of start from there, but they go outwards. So let's go out slightly here, out slightly here, and then let's bring them back in. But we don't want them to be long. You don't want long legs, because obviously they're short because they're going off into the distance. And let's just get these placed in here. Make sure the feet are small, because everything's getting smaller as it goes off into the distance. His feet are closer together in the photo. Maybe let's make him a little bit longer that way. Now, as always, when I'm using these reference images, I'm not trying to recreate that image. I'm using that as my reference to create my own image. Obviously the same position, the same position as his body is, and I'm using that. Now, obviously, features and everything, we'll flip it around when we put the features in, so that will help us, but for now we're going to stay this way up. Let's scale it down slightly, and let's get the arms in. Let's just do a couple of lines out this way. Now, sort of armpits. See, there's his armpits here. You've got all joined like that. They don't obviously come out straight. There's the flesh that will be under the t-shirt or under his shirt that will join that to there. So let's get that in. Let's get another line going for sort of the shoulders. All right, like that. And then let's get these coming out. Now his hands, he's got one sort of sideways, one facing us. We don't have to copy that. Let's just get in circles at the moment for our hands. Or paws, which they will be. Let's get those in. I kind of like the way this hand is facing this way. So maybe let's just chuck in like that. So we got that shape coming there. And then this one maybe we will copy his hands after all. Let's just do that. Looks like a weird aeroplane. Aeroplane kitty cat. This is a very rough sketching stage. His thumb's on this side, obviously, so let's get some sort of thumb going there. Let's chuck in a few lines for the rest of our paw. Now, how many have I given him? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going with 4 here. 3 fingers and a thumb. Obviously, cats don't have fingers or thumbs. I don't know what you call their paws, but as we always say, we're not anatomists for animals. We leave that up to the great Sir David Attenborough. All right, so we got that. Now let's spin him around and let's work on this head and where the features are. Now he's obviously in motion, flipping around. So with the ears, I'm thinking, we don't want. I won't have them like straight up. I'm going to have a little bit of movement in the ears, or make it look like there's sort of a bit of movement in the ears. So maybe they're bending over slightly. Like, the wind's caught the ears and they're sort of flapping over like that. So they're not straight up. Okay. Now let's get our cat nose in. Like so. Little bridge of the nose. Obviously now we're not really worrying about that reference at the moment because we're now focusing on our cat features. You can do whatever you want. You can, if you want to, give it a sort of facial expression with using the mouth, like he's like got his mouth open or whatever. But I'm going to go with just a very generic. Come on, very generic cat mouth. Like, just chill. Just chill. Now with the eyes, I'm enjoying doing the big eyes at the moment, so I'm going to do some big eyes. All right, so let's just get like an eye line in, and then down this side, it's kind of like a kind of straight line with a little curve to it, and then we're going to go smaller down this side. That's where the eye's tapering off, and then just join those together with a little curvy line as well, like so. And then let's just do some nice big eyes like that, and a pupil like that, and a pupil like that. All right, we're getting somewhere. There we go. He's flipping over. I want to make sure we've definitely got this chest area popping, so it does look like that back is really arching. Just going over a little bit thicker on my initial sketch here. Just get a few toes in here. Don't have to overcomplicate things. Like so. There we go. It's probably a little bit sort of skew width, but that's why we love digital art, because we can just go, oh, like that. Straighten him up a little bit. Let's get that coming out like that. All right. Now we need a tail, of course. Now the cat's flipping backwards, so I reckon the tail would just be sort of like flowing from this way. Let's just get a little bit of a curve going on it as it's sort of coming round, catching it. It's probably a little bit big because obviously, again, you got foreshortening here, and the same thing would be happening with the tail. So maybe, if thinking about it now, we need it to be a bit further off that way, like so. There we go. Nice basic. So I think we've done a pretty good job using our reference image to recreate this guy's backflip. Look at our cat backflipping. There we go. Look at that. Record-breaking time. 9 minutes, everybody. Let's get our first layer. Let's tap with 2 fingers. And let's bring down that. Now, what you can do, I know obviously you could be looking at this going, oh, it's all right for you, you know what you're doing. Now, what you can do is, let me just get rid of this guy for a second. Let's get a new layer. Let's get rid of our reference for a second. Now, what you can do is you can go spanner, and let's go canvas. Actually, no, you want add, insert a photo. Let's insert our photo. Now, obviously, I do it by eye, but what you can do is bring it onto your Procreate or whatever you're using. If it's, obviously it's a lot easier if you're using digital, but bring it on and drop the opacity, get yourself a new layer over the top, and just pencil in. I'm not saying trace it, I'm just saying just pencil in the actual skeleton. All right, so chuck in your feet like that, go up like that to your knees. Maybe just give yourself a little bit of a reference for where that chest is popping out. And then that way, you've got this skeleton that you can then work with. If you're just starting out, there's nothing wrong with this. People may say, oh, it's cheating, you can't trace. We're not tracing exactly, we're just giving ourselves a guide, all right? So then you've got this skeleton, and you can work from there, all right? So don't let people tell you, oh, it's cheating, you can't trace. If you're learning and you're starting from scratch, it just helps you with your proportions. This is the way I learned to draw was to copy. I copied everyone's drawings. I didn't trace everyone. I sort of did copying basically, and that's how I learned to draw. Now I don't do that anymore. But it wasn't like at the time when I was copying other pictures out of books and comic books and stuff like that. I wasn't posting them all online going, oh, look at my amazing original art. No, I wasn't doing that. Excuse me, just having a sip. But that helped me to learn. All right, so people won't agree with that. They'll say you shouldn't be doing that, but whatever. It's my channel, not yours, you jerks. All right, so let's now do our inking layer. Let's go darker black, inking layer. We are going to use our studio pen. I'm going to flip it this way to start with my inking of my features, because it just makes life a little less complicated trying to do all that upside down. New layer, and let's get these in. Get this face drawing. I don't like the shape of this nose at the moment. Let's fix that up as we go, like so. Now, obviously for me, I've drawn a lot of cats over the last couple of years, so for me, cats are pretty not easy to draw, but I know where things go and I have a flow with my cats. So if you wanted to draw something else, if you want to draw a person, you can draw a cartoon. If you want, you can draw whatever you want. This is just what, I instantly go, oh, I'll draw a cat. But yeah, I just think use it when you I never used to use reference when I was drawing, and I'd always just try and from my memory, my terrible memory, I'd go, oh, I'm going to draw something doing a backflip, and I'm like, in my head I'm going, okay, how does a backflip look? And I'm going, oh, I think it looks like this, and inevitably the picture would turn out shite. And I get frustrated. I'm like, oh, why can't I draw a backflip? I know what a backflip is. I can see it in my head. I just can't put it on the paper. And eventually I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just look up a reference of someone doing a backflip and then just go from there. Obviously, that makes perfect sense. But for some reason, at the time, I thought, oh no, I have to do it all from memory. Well, no, you don't. So, if you've got whatever idea you've got in your head, if it's, a character with a baseball bat, if it's, someone who you want to draw like a knight who's in battle. Well, hundreds and thousands of people have, one, acted that out, and two, drawn that particular scene. So just do a quick Google search and get yourself some reference image of how they did it. Now, so you can use other people's drawings as reference. You're not copying them, just as reference. Okay, so how did they draw this? How have they done this? I mean, it's obviously better if you can do it with like a real photo, because then there's no grey areas, and you're not going to accidentally sort of copy part of a drawing because it's there in front of you. Like I obviously always I tend to avoid using other people's drawings myself, just because I know subconsciously while I'm drawing I might go, oh, I get to the point where I'm like, I really love how they did this drawing, and then I'm like, hold on a second, I've almost just exactly copied their drawing. So for me, if I can get a picture like the one I've got for this, where it's just a human guy doing a backflip, then no one can accuse me of plagiarizing anyone's art. But copying, there's this obviously there's this massive thing against copying. Everyone's just like, as soon as the word copying is said, like people's bumholes tighten, and they're like, excuse me, you what? Copying? How dare you? But for me, I reckon copying is one of the greatest ways to learn to draw. If you're not going to go to art school or anything like that and have someone teach you every aspect of it, if you're just self-teaching, like I that's how I've done learnt my craft, is self-taught, and I've done a lot of it by copying, because that's just the way it is. That's how you start. Well, a lot of people, that's how I started anyway. But as I said, there's a difference between copying to learn and copying then and just putting it online and saying, oh, this is my original idea. You definitely don't obviously do that. But if I still copy it now. Like, I mean, I spoke about one of my favorite artists in, I think it was the last video or the video before the last one, Shiloh illustrations. Check him out on Instagram. I see designs he draws all the time and go, oh my god, that's great. I want to draw that. Oh, I want to draw a version of that, and I'll go off and draw it. But I don't usually put them online, just for myself, because I'm like, I love how he's done that. I want to try and work out how he's done that. And if I was to put it online, I would 100% say, hey, the original concept was by Shiloh. This is my version of it, whatever. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents on copying. Come at me, internet. I'm ready for you. Let's put some pads on here, like so. Now, I did have a regular watcher of my videos, Andy G, say that I make the drawing of the paws look too easy, and I should do not a tutorial on just drawing paws. So I will probably do that. It won't be very long, because I don't have much to tell you. Okay, so we're doing new layer. We're going to make the inking layer our reference layer. I like to colour my cats in weird and wonderful colours, colours that cats would never be, just because I like it. I like vibrant colours. Let's chuck that in there. Let's pop that in there. Flip it around. We'll make the main part of these eyes white. I'm going to go a greeny yellow for this part of the eyes. The nose I usually make a watermelon colour, but obviously that won't work for this guy, so let's give him a pink outlook on life. Let's chuck that in there. That in there. That's the inside of the ear, so that needs to be the same colour. My threshold's very low. Let's up that. Oops. In fact, I can do that, and then I'm just going to fix up the lines here so it's not leaking. Boom. All right. Backflipping cat. Oh, this purpley mauvey colour again. Give it to me, you little jerk. Let's chuck him in here. See, now you'll see, because my threshold is a bit low, you've got all these white bits showing up. So what I mean by threshold, if you don't know what I mean by threshold, is if you do the colour drop, hold it in there. This colour drop threshold at the top is 65%, and you can slide it up and down depending on if your colour's leaking. See how that's just leaked? Obviously the colour threshold's very high at the moment, and there must be a spot somewhere where the colour is escaping from. Not sure where, but all I'm going to do is just drop that colour threshold. There you go. I only have to do it a little bit. Like so. Let's do that in the tail as well. Let's fill that in. Okay. Oh, and let's do his mouth. I'm going to do a dark reddish colour. Now, for around his chops, I'm just going to chuck some white to break things up a bit so it's not all the same colour. Like that, nice little white choppy chops. Chop, chop, chop. And around the bottom here as well. Just fill that in. Let's increase this size so we can try and do this a bit quicker. Like so. Try and give this guy a background if we've got time. Where are we at time-wise? 22 minutes it looks like, or 23 minutes. So we might have time here just to... Still got to do the... let's give it a bit of a white on the tail as well. We'll do the shadowing, of course. Okay, there we go. Backflip. Now the sun's going to be coming from this direction, so those regular viewers of my videos will know that when it comes to shadowing, my rule of thumb is just put it wherever you want. But for this, let's try and at least make it. And do a couple of spots under the eyes. It's a really nice place to put it because it really makes the eyes pop, which you'll see in a second. When I drop the opacity, I like to also put some under the mouth area, like that. Right at the back here, this is going to be in shadow under here. Also can creep in there. Now, again, if you're new to my videos, I use the shadowing as an opportunity, especially with my animals, to give a bit of texture. So I'll do this sort of flicky lines. The look of fur, like so. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, and just like magic, let's drop the opacity down on this layer. Slightly up, like that. Let's get this area in shadow. I'm trying to get through this quickly because I'd like to give it a bit of a background. It's going to be a very basic background. In fact, this is all going to be in shadow, I think. I'm tempted to get most of this area in shadow as well. Now, a lot of people have said to me in the past that I probably don't push my shadowing far enough. I disagree. No, I probably don't. But I just don't like to overdo it on shadow. So this whole ear is going to be gone. The back of there. I'm going to put highlights in as well, and I'll do the same as what I do with the darker colour, as in these hairy sort of strips. Oh, I haven't coloured in this old paw. Let's do our refill. Doop, 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 doop. Okay. Oops, that looks a bit rubbish there. I need this colour back. Okay. Those feet are going to be all the way in. Alright. Oh, let's go. Oh, low battery on my phone. Hold on. Oh, I forgot to plug the battery of the phone in. I think it's still videoing. I hope it's still videoing. Yeah, alright. Come on. Now. Close. Alright. Alright, I hope that's alright. What I'm going to do is we're going to group these together. Hide the sketch layer. I'm going to flip this up this way. And I'm going to turn this guy around, scale him down a bit. Like so. I'm going to put a background in. Let's get our reference image back up again. Canvas reference. Alright. I want this blue colour. I'm going to make this the reference layer. I'm going to drop that blue in the background, like so. That pops quite nicely. Like that. Okay. Now, if you've ever seen one of my underwater tutorials, all I'm going to do with this is what I do similarly with those. Just build up this light to dark situation that's going on here. So, airbrush, pull down the opacity about, 40%. Nice and big brush, and let's just very gently start to build this gradient here. See the light's coming from there. So we'll just ever so slightly, we'll bring up the opacity a bit more. Alright, we'll get a lighter blue. It's nice and gentle. Let's work in that light there. Let's go over here. Let's colour pick over there. Let's get this dark colour. Like that. Let's make it right and nice and dark there. Just very lightly. Slowly edging our way across into the light area. Like so. Okay. Now let's go back to our cat. Let's go new layer, new clipping layer. We're going to go get that pink colour and we're going to right over to a nice white. Let's go back to our inking pen. And let's just get some nice bright lines coming in here. Just like he sort of does here. Just all in that area there. Like so, as well over here. Now he's got light there. Of course he would have light there because that light's going to hit. So let's fix this up. We'll just erase the back there. Like so. Now that's all. We could actually kind of thinking that might work if we copy what he's got going on his, which is, this is all, I'm going to lose the texture there, but that's all right. I'll just do that. Like so. Oops. There you go. Now I'm going to make my eraser the inking pen as well. You can change, if you didn't know this, you can change the eraser to whatever pen. You just use the same pen as what we're using there. Okay, I'll go back to this. Let's bring the opacity back down on that. Let's get this colour. Let's go back to here. Inking pen. Let's pull that size down. And let's just chuck that in there. Like so. Now, he's also got some on his face, and we haven't got any on the side here. So let's... Oops. There we go. Let's get a little bit on top of the eye here as well. Maybe a little bit. Actually, what I will do on this, I'll get a white for the nose. Let's get a little reflection going there as well. In the eyes. Wunderbar. Now I've got white, don't white. Like so. Right. There we go. Now, he's got some clouds and stuff going on. Let's put some clouds in. Well, obviously cartoon clouds, baby. So let's go black. I'll get our inking pen. Let's just chuck in some cartoony clouds. Alright, make sure they've got a little bit of interest to them. You don't want to just go like that. It's boring. You know. Double them over. Like so. New layer, reference layer. We're at 32 minutes. Ooh, we're getting there, people. Let's quickly drop that colour into there. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want a new layer. Now, that's what I want to do. Alright. Let's just check it out. A few extra little cloudy bits here. There's gaps here. Leak. Leak. Okay. Like a soap. Boom. And then we can do a new layer. Reference layer. Let's just get a black. And let's just make sure we've got some shadowing for our clouds, because it's not a clipping mask. Like so. Don't forget to chuck it, because you know, you've got clouds are three-dimensional, so make sure we give it a look. Like that. A couple of these in there. Drop the opacity down on that. Like so. There you go. And that is how we use a reference image of a human to create a backflipping cat. Cheers.
There you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, maybe give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of these videos, you're a lunatic. But you can subscribe to the channel and you'll get a little... Oh, and hit the... I think if you hit the bell... I've got to get better at this. If you hit the bell, you'll get a notification the next time one of these videos goes up. So, till the next time, my wonderful people, me love you. A long time. No, that's weird. All right. Next time.